Hello, welcome to the Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 1 review. Before I introduce myself, let me introduce my guests there with me. We have Edgar, comic book fan, 1992.
What's up, everyone here?
We have Joe, Comic Book Nation.
Hello, you people. This is me, Comic Book Nation. Happy to be here with this Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 1.
And John.
What up, guys?
Yep.
Hmm.
And we're here to talk about the Phase 1, which is only 6 movies. Yep. And, well, and now we apparently have Tevya joining us.
Hello. Hey, Joe.
Am I rolling? Hooray.
Hey, John.
Hey.
Alright, since we got 6 movies, let's just start off right away with Iron Man 1. Starring Robert Downey Jr., Gwyneth Paltrow, Jack Bridges, and Terrence Howard. With this one.
What's up, everyone here?
We have Joe, Comic Book Nation.
Hello, you people. This is me, Comic Book Nation. Happy to be here with this Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 1.
Iron Man 1.
John,
What's up, guys?
what's going on?
The
Why is there an
fuck?
echo? That's odd.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Hang on.
That is odd. Why have we got Echo?
Yeah.
I think it was Tevya, so continue.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm allowing you,
Yeah.
Edgar, to go first to talk about this one.
Alright. So we're going to the first one.
Yes, the first Iron Man 1.
Iron Man 1 was probably the best Iron Man film. It's probably one of the dream movies I always wanted to see, and I was very excited. I stayed up all night just to see the trailer of this film. I was very. It was 2018 was 2008 was a really good year for me because it was literally a dream movie that I always wanted to see in my life, and now I have that movie. And it's just I think Robert Downey Jr. is the perfect Iron Man, personally. But that's all I have to say.
Alright, Joe?
Me, when I saw Iron Man, I was like blown away. This was like the start of a great movie franchise now. Robert Downey Jr., I really like him as Iron Man. I mean, he is Tony Stark in that. And I really like the villain. I'm going to say right now, the first villain, in like even including the whole Iron Man trilogy, I think, what was the character again? The villain, Staines?
Obadiah Stane.
Obadiah Stane. They and also another thing before you go on, they put heavily on the Ironmonger storyline. It's heavily based on the Ironmonger storyline. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So go on, Joe.
And I just like the villain, the tone they went for. It was just the right tone for Iron Man in that. And what they did is just like, the twist and everything. The whole movie is so good. I mean, they explain his origin so darn well. I mean, they show the rings, and that means we could be getting hinting from Mandarin. Of course, that's probably never gonna happen now. I mean, the whole story in that. It's like this movie, this Iron Man, is in between my first favorite Marvel movie in that, right next to Winter Soldier in that. This is how much I really like this film a lot. It was just the perfect Marvel movie in that. And it's, like I said, it's probably my first or second favorite Marvel standalone film in that. I can watch this movie every time in that. It was just a great movie. If I rate this movie, like the first Iron Man movie, I will give it a 10 out of 10. It was such a great, solid Marvel movie.
All right. Is John there?
Yep. Yeah, I'm here.
All right. All right, your turn.
As Joe said, this a great start to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and one of my favorite Marvel movies. Like, I didn't know too much about the character of Iron Man, and this did make me an Iron Man fan, and the casting of Robert Downey Jr. was perfect. All the cast of the members done a good job. Terrence Howard, they could have maybe gave him a bit more. I do like Don Cheadle better in the role.
Terrence
But just,
Howard. I sorry to interrupt, but I thought it was Jeff Bridges who was the main event. That's Terrence Howard.
just wait.
Yeah, Jeff
What?
Bridges. He's the main villain.
Yeah,
Terrence Howard was Rudy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jeff Bridges as Obadiah Stane was probably one of the best villains for an Iron Man movie, even better than Mickey Rourke in Iron Man 2, which was kind of I did enjoy it. Iron Man 3 we won't go into. Just a great movie. One of my favorite Marvel movies. Like Joe said, it's like it's my second favorite next to Winter Soldier. And it's sad that the Iron Man movies did kind of turn lackluster.
All right. Tevya.
Alright, well, I can't stay long because I have a part to do, but I can do. Iron Man 1, I love Iron Man 1. Iron Man 1, like Edgar said, in my opinion, Iron Man 1 with a great at the stepping stone to the MCU, and in my opinion, I'm not an Iron Man fan, as people already know that already. Edgar's the more Iron Man expert. Like, this movie did surprise me because I thought this movie was gonna be well as a kid because it was going down June and for what I heard a lot of people went against the movie, but I've seen the movie videos, I actually loved it. This is my opinion one of the best MCU movies of all time, and one of the best origin stories for a superhero movie, one of the best origin stories of Iron Man in all time. Granted, I'm an Iron Man fan, so that's why I like the movie so much. Iron Man 2 is an okay sequel. Mickey Rourke would waste that development. Mickey Rourke could be awesome Whiplash. Like, I think you doing good by that movie. Iron Man 3, well, I still like that movie. I will admit the Mandarin twist. Yes, I do agree Mandarin was a bad year, but you know what? I still like that twist. That's just me. And we can talk about Iron Man 3 all day.
Iron Man 3 when we get to Phase 2.
Yeah. Alright, and that's my thoughts.
All right. Now, this movie, and this is something, I don't know if you guys know this, this movie revived Robert Downey Jr.'s acting career. And
Oh yeah, it did too.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, because he was going through a downfall in his acting career.
Yep. And Jon Favreau, who directed the movie, he actually fought with Marvel Studios to make sure he was Iron Man.
Nice.
Because he wanted him to be Iron Man. And I think they're looking at somebody else. I'm not really sure who, but they were looking at somebody else to be Iron Man, not Robert Downey Jr. But basically, if it hadn't for Jon Favreau, we would not have Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. And he repaid the favor by being in his movie, Chef, where he was in the movie.
I did see that movie. Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it, but I know for a fact Jon Favreau's in. He's a star in the movie, and his girlfriend is Scarlett Johansson in the movie.
Yeah.
And
I'll be right back. Hey, guys, I'll be right back. I gotta go do something, so don't worry.
Okay. Interesting thing about Terrence Howard, of why he didn't come back after this movie. One was a contract dispute, and two, he had a humongous he had a feud with Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And that's the reason why he never came back to playing
Rhodes.
Rhodey, and that's why he was replaced by Don Cheadle.
What sucks? Because he's a great actor.
I like Dan
Yeah.
Cheadle. I thought he did I like him. I like Dan Cheadle. I like Dan Cheadle more as Rhodey more.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And this movie, I gotta say, because a lot of people accuse the Marvel movies, with the exception of Loki, when we get to him, of almost all the Iron villains are basically not Iron villains. Marvel Cinematic Universe villains are all one-note villains, and I think Loki is the only one. Obadiah Stane,
Kingpin and Pearl Man are good.
not a one-note villain. Yeah, he was not a one-note villain. He was a great villain, and he was one of the most interesting villains in the whole cinematic universe.
Mm-hmm.
Agree.
Agreed.
And if I'm going to give this movie a rating, I agree with everybody else who read this movie. This movie was perfect, a great start to the series, and there's one thing we got to talk about: the first post-credit scene of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where Nick
That was
Fury
great.
shows up, played by Sam Jackson himself.
Oh yeah, that was brilliant.
I did not see that in theaters. I missed that.
Yeah, I actually did not know that this post-credit scene was even in there at all. I thought it was end normally. A friend of mine from my church, actually told me about the post-credit scene, and I looked it up online on YouTube. That's how I found out about the post-credit scene. And when it came on DVD, I actually watched the whole movie, and I fast forward to the credits just to get the. And here's something interesting though. According to the documentary "Building the Universe," the documentary Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Yep.
this was kept hidden. Nobody knew that Sam Jackson was going to be in the post-credit scene at all. And this is all done. The post-credit scene was done 1 day of shooting. 1 day.
Nice.
Yep. 1 day of shooting, and this pretty much teased the rest of the movies. And I gotta hand it to him. Getting Sam Jackson, and the version he's playing is based upon the one from the Ultimate Universe, which and he's one of 2 people who has had characters based upon them in the comics to play them in the movies. Guess who the other one who actually did that?
Iron
The
Man.
guy who, Miles. The guy who was inspiration for Miles, he's actually much older than the
I know him. I know him.
himself. He voiced him
Donald
in the
Glover.
Ultimate Spider-Man series.
Yep, Donald Glover.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Samuel Jackson, especially if you watch the Ultimate Avengers anime movies, Samuel Jackson looks like the ultimate
Nick Fury
from the Ultimate.
Yeah, and
Ultimate
because
Avengers
of
movie.
this movie, every time Nick Fury appears outside the comics now, even in the comics, Nick Fury has to be black.
Yep, they're using Nick Fury Jr., which is stupid.
Yep.
I just will open Nick Fury better.
I don't have a problem with Nick Fury Jr. at all. It's just that him being want to replace the original Nick Fury, that was a kind of a dumb idea. But I have no problem with the character himself.
Agreed.
All right, now.
Anyway, yeah, I gotta go.
Before we move on to the next
call to catch.
which is Incredible Hulk, waiting for Iron Man 1. Okay, Tevya.
Okay, alright. I'll go put my score. Mine is a 10 out of 10. Perfect movie.
Mm-hmm. Joe?
10 out of 10. Perfect movie. Great film. Great start for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Still my second favorite Marvel movie ever made by Marvel Studios.
Okay, John?
10 out of 10.
Tevya?
Alright, before I go into it, I give me a 5 out of 5 perfection, A plus, best Iron Man movie of all time, and the best super order of all time, and one of the best movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Next to Avengers. And Third Avenger.
Alright.
So, I gotta go.
Alright, see you, Tevya. I will kind of go next to this one because this movie, I feel as though is better than its predecessor, and that's the 2008 Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton as Bruce Banner, and I think his name was William Hurt. I think his name is the one who plays Ross. Yeah. And I don't remember who the actress is who plays Betty in this movie, but she played in Lord of the Rings as Victor Harmon's. She was an elf in that series,
Yeah, I remember that.
and there is a reason why he never came back after this movie, because the people who worked with him on this movie, they hated working with him. He's had a troubled relationship with anybody who works with him. He's one of the most impossible actors to work with in Hollywood. And that's the reason why he was recast.
Didn't he co-direct the film
Yes.
but didn't get credited for it?
And his script that he had for this movie would not have the Hulk show up until like 30 minutes into the movie.
Damn.
Yep. And the one thing you gotta give this movie credit for is that this movie is better than Hulk 03 for the fact they actually have a villain from the comics fighting the Hulk in the movie. And it was the Abomination.
And it's not filled with boring bullshit.
Yes, and it was nice. I mean, the way Abomination looked, he kind of looked very similar. Despite the head, body down, from shoulders down, he looked almost exactly like he just walked out the comics.
Sure.
And in this movie, some people think that he only says 2 words the entire movie. He actually has 2 lines in this whole movie. His first line is the first line. He says, "Leave me alone." The second time is the infamous Hulk smash line from later on in the movie. And plus we got introductions to Doc Samson and the leader, though when he's not like have his big head. There were steps to set up that.
Yeah, but too late.
In the comic that's set after this movie. Go ahead, Edgar.
It's a little too late for that because we might not get that, see that, because he went to another fucking film. The actor who played him.
Yeah. Yeah. And as far as I know, there is no current plans to do a Incredible Hulk sequel. People have been wanting one for years. But the thing is, Universal holds not the rights to the character, but they own the distribution rights to any Hulk movie that's made. They have the right to say no. But Marvel still owns the character, and he can appear in the movies when he wants to. And this movie is much better than Hulk 03.
That's all I'll say. But here's the
much more for later.
Here's the thing for me. I wish that we had a scenario with like Universal teamed up with Marvel and just try to work with them, like Sony is doing with Marvel, because we have like solo Spider-Man movies, and Spider-Man will be in Avengers films, and plus cameos, etc., etc. It's just like, why we have to put this character in a movie with? Why we have to, like, personally, I'm still kind of like, is it really necessary to put the Hulk in Ragnarok 3? Just, yeah, but I understand what they're doing, but I thought the Hulk film, The Incredible Hulk, was probably the best Hulk. It was action-packed. It had better storyline. It really, really felt like a Hulk film, not like a, I need your power, I need you're not my son type storyline with 2003 Hulk. Oh man, that was horrible.
Was not ever mentioned that 2003 Hulk again.
I don't
But
know
it's
about
just
you
like-
guys, I fell asleep watching that.
But anyway, I liked
feel
it.
like
What?
I feel like watching Batman and Robin.
Ugh. Back to what I was saying, but I personally feel like this movie was really good, and just overall was really good. I love the part where Tony Stark comes in and tells that Colonel guy, "What if I told you I'm building a team?" And it ends right there. I'm like, oh shit, Avengers! Just it hyped it up. it hyped it up so high. So yeah. What happened to Nick?
Wait, did he drop out?
He left the call.
Wait, who's hosting this thing?
I don't know. Wait a
He's
minute.
back.
Hey, what happened?
Wait, where is he?
Where is he?
He's right here. I see. He's in my screen.
Nick?
Oh,
Okay. All right, fine. We'll just go without him then. Joe, what did you thought of the Hulk film?
Okay. This was probably one of my favorite action-packed Marvel movies ever made in that, including the Hulk saying Hulk smash in another phrase.
Oh, that was yeah. I agree.
He
I
actually
agree.
says he actually says Betty in this movie.
Yeah, I like that too.
And the Abominations versus the Hulk fight was so darn good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
shit. Just and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. It's like when Hulk just literally like, oh shit just got real.
And it was like, holy crap. I love the fight in that. And yes, it's very sad we're never ever going to get a sequel because this movie deserves a sequel. This movie deserves more a sequel than the other Marvel movies does right now. I mean, this movie
I
deserves
feel
a
like
sequel.
personally, out of all the characters, they got their own trilogies. Whole Iron Man, Thor, Captain America. Hulk deserves that trilogy. Like,
I mean, just imagine the money we would make now because after the first Avengers, that's everybody was talking about how much they like the Hulk.
yeah,
I'm
because he
gonna tell you right
literally
now.
kicks some fucking ass.
Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, if they make a second Hulk movie, this movie could even supreme the first Winter Soldier.
Oh, you know what they were trying? Okay, Joe, did you see the deleted scenes? There was a deleted scene that the general really wanted to have fucking the Hulk's power, and he wanted to put him into himself. So I'm like, oh shit, that was teasing Red Hulk. Right there, it's just imagine a Red Hulk versus Hulk.
Oh my god! I mean, that was like mind blowing. I mean, like I said, the Hulk. I'm gonna tell you right now, the Hulk. I'm gonna predict if they make a Hulk sequel and they do it perfection, like real perfection, and put Red Hulk versus Hulk, I'm gonna say they're probably gonna make like $300 million.
I'll be right back.
Okay. I don't know what
I
happened,
agree.
guys.
Like
Google
300
Plus pooped out on me for some reason.
it's Google.
Yeah. Did you guys hear what I said before I sort of pooped out?
No.
No.
I was saying the one thing I didn't like about Incredible Hulk was how the Hulk was born in the first place, his origin. They took the origin from the TV show and made that the origin story.
Yeah,
Instead of using
I grew up with the TV show and that, and yeah, I remember that because the beginning. That's one thing I like about this movie. Like they did everything right. Like they brought things from TV shows. They did these things right from the comics too. Like the character and that. The one thing, this is the cool thing, and I think nobody mentioned this, that it was so awesome. This is why this is my favorite Marvel action-packed movie. The Hulk uses boxing gloves with his vehicle to start punching things.
That was
Yeah,
great.
just like in the Hulk video games.
Yeah, and one thing I like about, like, he uses like a heart rate thing. Like if heart rate goes up, he knows.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
it wears that watch. Like if his heart rate goes up, he knows. I like that idea, and that especially when Bruce and Betty, like, we're kind of making out. He says, "I can't do it. I can't get over
Yeah.
it." He says, "A little."
Wrist watch that he
Yeah.
wears.
I think, like, the Incredible Hulk. The one thing about this movie that it's like off the radar. Like people don't watch it very much. The people who saw it love the movie. It's like the most underrated Marvel movie ever made.
Yes.
They should have made more money. What they should have made, of course, that's blame for the 2003 Hulk movie. Reason people didn't go see it.
Yeah.
That's true.
And this movie made more money than the 2003 Hulk did.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
I was telling Edgar and that, like if they do a sequel, I predict that the sequel will make $300 million. In that.
Possibly.
In that, because if they like I told Edgar that if they do perfection, like they do it they should be how they do it, and like I think the sequel, I agree with Edgar in this one, it should be Red Hulk as that because we know General Ross is gonna be in Civil War, so they could mention things for a sequel still.
And just by coincidence, Red Hulk made his debut in the comics the same year the film came out.
Yeah.
I did not notice that.
This thing about this. What happened, General Ross, like, the Civil War movies is hiding. What happened that General Ross returns to the Red Hulk?
Yeah, I always like to know is, what the heck has he been up to since that movie?
I know, like, we're going to find out in Civil War. We're going to know the facts, what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, in the terms of the movies right now, I would say maybe since the first Iron movie, at least 2, maybe 3 years have passed by since the first Iron movie.
Yeah, well, that's one thing they have to explain General Ross's backstory in Civil War, what he's been doing so many years.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm very
speaking
happy
of
they're
Ross,
keeping the same actor.
Yeah. Speaking of Ross, what did you think of the post-credits scene of Incredible Hulk?
Oh, I loved it. Did you guys ever see that deleted end credit they were going to do when Bruce Banner was going to shoot himself? He spit the bullet out and he shows the Captain America shield.
Yeah,
I saw that.
That I did not hear about that scene, but I heard about that in the film Avengers.
Yeah, there is a deleted scene. I think you can find it on YouTube.
Okay. The whole point of the post-credit scene for this film just confirmed that it's in the same universe as Iron Man.
Yeah.
And according to Robert Downey Jr., he did the post-credit scene as a favor.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did it as a favor.
Huh.
And plus, he was there just to do one thing: promote Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Which Iron Man 2?
Iron Man 2. Okay. Have we got our ratings ready?
We're about to finish up with Incredible Hulk. I give Incredible Hulk a 9 out of 10. The only reason I take a point off because I don't really care for the TV show origin story. I prefer the comic book origin story better. Edgar?
Well, I understand that complaint. They do reference the TV show Hulk from the 70s a lot. They even have the music. Ding, ding. They even have the music of the Lone, or something like that.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, I understand that complaint, and I could get that. I give it a solid 10 out of 10 just because of the action, and I hunger for that. I wanted to see that in the 2003 one. Didn't happen. I finally we have that Hulk movie that is kicks some ass. Hopefully someday they could somehow introduce She-Hulk and their Hulk's family eventually. We'll never know.
Yep. Joe?
This movie is probably like I said, it's the best Marvel action film I ever saw. I mean, it's number one. I mean, I've watched a lot of Marvel movies. Nothing's on top this best action scenes I ever saw in a Marvel movie. I like I like this movie a lot is because this is the way they told the origin. It's the way the origin should have been. The first film and I just love the versus abomination and that. The movie was just a solid Marvel movie again. I'm with Edgar. Same score, 10 out of 10.
John?
Definitely give it a 9. I loved it, like a lot better than the previous one, which was just a bore. I would have liked to see a sequel, but we didn't get that, like with the leader and all that. But I love it. It's like probably my third favorite Marvel movie. That's actually really hard to tell, but really loved it. Hopefully they do another Hulk movie in the future.
Yep. All right. Next, Iron Man 2, the film that's set 6 months between the 6 months after Iron Man 1 and 6 months before Incredible Hulk. Edgar,
And that was,
you're the resident Iron Man fan. You
Okay.
go first.
Okay, the film. This was a really good film. Not the best, but it was good. It was good. I love the fact that they have War Machine in the film. That was teased in Iron Man 1 a bit. And in Iron Man 2, they have a villain called Whiplash. And I liked him. It was pretty cool. And the fight between Whiplash and Iron Man and War Machine was probably awesome. It's probably the best thing out of this film. But I personally feel that the whole part where what's that word? Not Tony. Oh yeah, Justin Hammer making Justin Hammer young was a terrible, terrible mistake. I personally just making him into a younger version just because we want to have him be in the same age as Tony Stark is just stupid in my eyes.
Uh-huh.
But
Joe?
still good.
Okay. Iron Man 2. I'm a fagger. Good film. Not supreme to the first film. And that is not supreme to like the Incredible Hulk to me in that. People kind of blame his too many characters. It was not the characters and that. It was just like the story they went with and the villain. I was not crazy about the villain. They could have done a better job with the villain. War Machine, really like the War Machine. I really like the War Machine versus Iron Man fight. And of course, I really like the War Machine Iron Man team up too. And that, like, I did like the last part of the movie when they show the action in the movie of Iron Man fighting all these Iron Man drones and that. And War Machine, seeing War Machine and Iron Man team up, that was, like, amazing. And that, including seeing Black Widow, I really like Scarlett Johansson's appearing as Black Widow's movie in that. I didn't know Black Widow was going to be the movie in that. And when they finally showed her, I mean, it was amazing in that. Especially Tony Stark's butler. It took him so long to get another guy, and Black Widow like took out like 100 people already, and that was pretty funny. This was a good Marvel movie. Not in my top 5 Marvel movies in Phase 1, and that's kind of like in between, almost place in that. Still a good Marvel movie. That's all I gotta say.
All right, John?
I'm with Edgar and Jay. Like, I liked it. It was a little lackluster for a sequel, and it was rushed into production from what I've heard. But it was good. Not as good as the previous one. Like, it had some decent action scenes and all that, and then this whole thing of like Marvel cutting out half of Mickey Rourke's scenes. I don't know what that was about. But overall, decent sequel. Could have been better. I'd give it a 7.
Okay. All right, my opinion of Iron Man 2. It's it's a decent sequel. I mean, it came out 2 years after the first film did, and that's kind of good for a sequel to come out 2 years. 2 or 3 years usually a good amount of time. But the thing is, if a sequel comes out 1 year after the previous movie, it's usually doomed to be pretty bad. And I'm glad the fact that Marvel, when it comes to sequels to their movies, they don't wait 1 year to release a sequel. They wait for at least for 2 or 3 years to release a sequel, or at least a little bit more, depends upon which movie it is. I do kind of agree. Yes, Justin Hammer was weird. The fact he was about the same age as Robert Downey Jr. Despite the fact in the comics, I think he's in his 70s. And this film is like it's kind of a loose adaptation of Demon the Bottle and I believe the first Armor Wars.
Yes, that is true.
The
Yes,
first film
that
was
is.
like
Yeah, you're right about that. It's you go. I'll.
yeah, in the first film they just have the origin just adapted from the Extremis storyline, and of course the Ironmonger stuff. But they adopt the Armor War stuff actually really well in this movie, and we'll get to basically what the heck is with the Senator in this movie when he reappears in Winter Soldier. But Don Cheadle, man, it's like he was meant to play Rhodey.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention
He did a
that.
great job playing him.
Me too.
So
I forgot to
oh,
mention that.
yeah.
I think he was actually. I think he's thinner than Terrence Howard, isn't he?
Wait, what?
I think he's thinner than he is.
Yeah.
And the War Machine armor, it's almost kind of like, if you look at it, it looked like it just walked out of the comics.
Yes.
Yeah, it did. I mean, especially when you watch the Avengers: Earth Mightiest Heroes, exactly like that, too.
Mm-hmm. And I know, Tony, that the Iron Man suit, they changed the unibeam thing. They changed it from a circle to a triangle, despite the fact in Avengers they switched it back to a circle. And
Which
the only
is
reason why
confusing.
you switched to a triangle is because Tony was dying. It's his arc reactors killing him,
That was
and he
confusing.
had to basically make a new metal in order to save himself. And I thought it was funny they teased Captain America with that that plastic shield.
No,
They
yeah.
didn't say it
That-
was
that-
that shield.
Yeah, it was Cap Shield. Like it was half finished and all that shit. Yeah, that was awesome. Oh, we didn't even talk about Black
And-
Widow. We didn't.
I did
We didn't
already.
talk about Black. Oh, yeah. I thought she was
Yeah.
probably one of the good things about her. Many people say she was eye candy. I'm like, no, I thought she was perfect. And I'm glad that she.
Especially that
Yeah.
fight.
Hold on, I'm still talking. When I heard she was being cast, she dyed her hair just for the part when she auditioned. I'm like, wow, that is a dedication. I applaud her for that.
Yep. And I almost forgot to mention this for Iron Man 1. It's the first appearance of Phil Coulson.
Oh yeah.
He comes back with this movie, Iron Man 2. Which he doesn't have a big of. He has a slightly bigger role in this movie than he did in the previous one.
Yeah, it was just basically like a cameo in the first one.
Yeah.
He had a much bigger role in the second Iron Man movie.
Yeah, and when he leaves, he goes straight to Thor.
Yeah, especially the end. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about the end credit too. Especially I want my opinions about that end credit.
The one thing about this post-credit scene, it's during the movie Thor. Because if you
Yeah,
watch Thor, this is
especially-
the same exact footage.
Oh yeah.
Especially when they show that
That
Thor
geek-
hammer,
that geek-
I was going.
That when I saw that, I'm like,
crazy, like crowd. It's like I can't believe they're gonna do the first Thor movie. And
yeah,
it
me too,
got me so
me too.
excited.
I was like, when I saw the hair, I'm like, oh shit! Damn, I can't wait to see the God of Thunder comes in. I can't wait to see him. I was hyped because I'm a huge Thor fan, and it's just like, oh shit, this is gonna be intense. And
Yep.
we'll get to Thor later.
Yep.
But yeah.
And basically, that was a good post-credit scene. It was the first post-credit scene that Phil Coulson himself was actually in. I think it was the only one he was in. And Nick Fury is actually in this movie a lot more than he was in Iron Man 1. This movie, he was in there for a good, 10 minutes?
Yeah, he probably had 10 minutes of screen time in this Iron Man movie.
Yes. I would say he's probably the second most... I think he's the second highest paid actor out of all the actors for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because Robert Downey Jr. is the highest paid one. I think Sam Jackson is like the second highest.
Yeah.
And is it just me, or does he always have to wear a trench coat like every time he's on screen?
Because every time we think of Nick Fury, the ultimate Nick Fury, it's boom, trench coat, period.
Yep. Though he doesn't wear a trench coat. You first see him in Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that's true.
No trench coat.
He's got to wear the trench coat. It's a Nick Fury thing.
Yep. And let's see. I mean, he just showed up just to be in that donut cafe, which that scene was just so hilarious.
It was like Robert Downey Jr. is hanging out, eating a donut, being cool, and Nick Fury shows up.
Yep. And let's see. And that scene was just right after the Iron Man War Machine brawl.
Yeah. It's like, I don't give a crap. I'm Iron Man. Nobody can do anything to me.
I mean, he was the first superhero to get hit. I mean, he's the first, has his identity publicly known.
Yeah.
That's one thing weird about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Almost everybody who shows up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far, with the exception of Daredevil, has their identity publicly known.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
especially with DC. You know, DC, they don't show the identities.
They're kind of sucking at secret identities right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm talking about the movies they're going for.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
I
what
would
I mean.
say the heroes in the DC universe, in their comic universes, like pre-Flashpoint, it's actually, out of all the heroes, I would say a good 10% has their identities publicly known. While at Marvel, a good 95% of their heroes has their identities publicly known.
I wonder what happened in real life if people found Bruce Wayne was Batman.
Oh well, we already
I'm sure
know
that
that.
he'll have his house seized and he'll be arrested on the spot.
Yeah,
Well,
that's why Bruce Wayne. That's why Bruce Wayne's always been very careful with his identity and who he trusts.
Yep.
Yeah, and here's another thing. We already saw that in Arkham Knight because he faked his death practically, or he basically.
Well,
faked his
Arkham Knight, he's got his identity and decided to blow himself in the house.
Yeah.
And that's by the way, and very pretty much that's by the way he was gone if he ever found out.
Mm-hmm. One thing I think that it was kind of a weird idea for the movie is that Whiplash is actually a combination of two completely different characters. Whiplash and Crimson Dynamo.
Which is the most weirdest, most dumbest idea. I'm like, you can only get this straight. You're combining two characters into one. You know, I didn't know this, but his father is the original Whiplash. We're talking about the villain in Iron Man 2.
Where'd Joe go?
I don't know.
Oh shit! I don't. Maybe his connection stopped. Anyway. Oh, he's coming. He's coming.
Yep.
Back to what I was saying. His father, the Whiplash, the main villain of the movie. His father was the original Whiplash. And I'm like, so you're telling me his father was through Whiplash, and you're just practically made up your own character? Again, why just don't people see the logic on that? It's like, but no, you gotta have. We can't say nothing bad about Marvel Studios. It's just fuck.
Oh, and something interesting though about Whiplash, the guy who actually is him in the comics, he actually does appear in the universe. He showed up on an episode of Agents of Shield, and his weapon was an actual whip, an electronic whip. Except he never took up any Whiplash.
Wow.
Yep. And interesting thing about this version of Whiplash, he exists in the comics. Marvel put him in the comics right after the film came out.
And he was obsessed with his bird. I want my bird.
Yeah, he first showed up in the Iron Man versus Whiplash miniseries.
Yeah, I saw that. I haven't read that book.
Yeah, but his look is way different than Mickey Rourke's look.
Yeah, I know. It's quite badass, too.
Yeah, the only thing similar to Mickey Rourke's look is that he has the whips coming out of his wrist.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's the only similarity. And let's see what else. Happy is not Tony's butler. He's actually in the film. He's basically Tony's chauffeur / bodyguard.
I'll be back in a moment.
Okay.
All right.
It's interesting though. He's played by the film's director.
Yeah, I do agree. Yeah, I do. He did a great job in these two Iron Man movies.
Yep.
Yeah. But for me, I thought that just the movie could have been a lot more better if they just have, I don't know, just a lot more action and just a kind of a better storyline, like kind of like make the story a lot more grander. But it's still a good film. I love that Rhodey just like, all right, time to stop the party, time to crash the party, Tony, and stand up and use that Iron Man Mach 2, and just the way after that happens, they fought. It was just classic Iron Man. I'm just like, Jesus, I'm just seeing Iron Man comic books. Go on.
That look is, I believe, is actually the first suit that Tony made for the previous movie. That before he put the colors in it.
Yeah.
And then of course, Hammer just put all of his gear into it, and half of it didn't work.
Yeah, it's half of it was just completely useless.
Yep. And
it just tells like Hammer just has lower quality and Stark is better.
And in the Iron Man 3 prelude, which is set right after this movie, it's after this movie, during Avengers, and before Iron Man 3, that in the comic, that Tony takes a break from being a superhero, and he gives Rhodey a new War Machine outfit. It's referred to as War Machine Armor Mark II. And
yeah.
It's kind of like a slimmed down version of the one that he had previously. And he just goes around and does all these threats around the world. At least it explains what he was up to during Avengers.
Yeah.
The comic is...
Yeah. Go on.
The comic itself is really good.
Okay. I'll go look into it.
Yep.
But anyway, let's move on. Let's give our scores. Yeah. I give it an 8 out of 10 for me.
John?
John, you there? Okay, then. He's not there. moving on. Let's go on.
Uh,
Let's just, they'll catch
I
up
give
with
the
us.
film a 7.5 out of 10.
All right, then. Let's go on. Let's go on. Thor. Was it Thor or Captain America? Like,
Thor came next.
okay. Personally, I'm gonna say this. Best character was Loki. Loki was just brilliant. I'm gonna say this. When Comic-Con came, the actors just never stopped talking how much the actor who played Loki was brilliant. And I'm like, I was surprised, like, wow, this guy is perfect as Loki. He's sinister, but he's naive. He has all this mystery about him. It was really good. But and also the best part also was Asgard. I really love the look, and I'm like, wow, that was brilliant. It's beautiful, has this beautiful music around it. It's just perfect.
Yep.
But yeah.
And this was the first movie where pretty much like every single character who appeared in the movie except for like one was all Stan Lee creations.
Yeah, I agree.
The only one
I'm
that
back.
was the Destroyer.
Yeah, they kind of updated the Destroyer a bit, but he looked pretty good.
Yep.
We're talking about Thor now.
Oh, okay.
What did you guys give Iron Man 2 for a bit?
I'd give it a 7.
Joe?
I'll give it a 7. I have to leave the call. I have to get some personal stuff done, and that. I'll give it a 7.
Go.
Okay, Joe.
Thank you for inviting me for the podcast.
You're welcome.
See you next time, buddy.
See ya.
All right.
All right, let's just go on.
All right. And before we continue, we gotta talk about the Stan Lee cameos up to this point from the previous movies.
Oh yeah.
In Iron Man 1, he was Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, that was true.
Yeah.
It was cool seeing him. I can never get sick of him being in a Marvel movie.
Yeah. In Incredible Hulk, he was the guy who drank that energy drink that had Bruce Banner's blood in it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
In Iron Man 2, I think he was Larry King in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, he was.
And in Thor, he's a guy who drives a truck and tries to get Thor's hammer out of the ground. Which I gotta say, this part of the movie, I think this is pulled from during a subplot from Civil War. You know, where Thor's hammer is in the ground, everybody's pulling it.
Yeah, that's supposedly when Thor died.
Yeah, but in the movie, it's completely different.
And there's also a reason for that too. I also like the fact that when Thor I like it when to me, Asgard and the whole when Thor, him in Asgard was just brilliant. And the one thing I wish, my biggest criticism on the Thor movies, and this goes to the first one and the second one, is he doesn't have his helmet. Man, that's
one thing that kind of bothered me too. Why doesn't he have his helmet? But the one thing I do like about Thor is that in the first movie, he has a JMS costume.
Oh yes, that is heavily JMS costume.
Yep. Loki, I think his costume was original for the movie.
Yeah, it's just complete original look.
Though the horns, basically, he only puts that on like what, twice?
Yeah, twice. Yeah, you put that in the Avengers. I haven't seen. I think I haven't seen him wear that in the. Actually, yeah, I have. It was in the DLC. It was not DLC. he was in the deleted scene in Thor 1, where Thor was ready to go become king before it got interrupted, and he was wearing his helmet. I'm like, yeah, I agree, yeah.
That's one thing that annoyed me. He doesn't really use his helmet.
Yeah, I think the reason why that he doesn't wear his helmet is because the Ultimate version doesn't wear a helmet.
Yeah, it's a mix of that. And they mention Donald Blake a bit just for fan service.
Yeah.
But it's heavy on Ultimate. Sprinkle 616 in there.
Yep. And Phil Coulson's in the movie. I think out of all the movies, aside from Avengers, this is actually the one movie where Phil Coulson's in a good chunk of it.
Yeah, he was. We gotta go talk about Jane Foster and all that stuff. A lot of people didn't like her. A lot of people didn't like Natalie Portman as Jane Foster. I didn't mind her. She was alright. She's not the best actress, but what she is given, she's pretty good. I mean, personally.
I will say her acting's a lot better in this than it was in the Star Wars prequels.
Oh God, don't get started.
Yeah, but you gotta say one thing about her. Out of all the actresses who appear in the movie, she's actually one of the more hotter ones.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, she's younger than Gwyneth Paltrow.
That is true.
Gwyneth Paltrow is actually, right now, she's 43 right now.
Damn.
Wow.
Yep. I think Natalie Portman, I think she's in her early 30s now. Scarlett Johansson is pushing 30. As for Elizabeth Olsen, I think she's also 30 as well.
But yeah, but
Looks
for
like
me,
John just dropped out.
What?
Looks like John just dropped out.
Yeah, he's just probably dropped off for some reason. Don't worry, he'll come back.
Yeah.
I'm sticking to this. Like, for me, she was all right. It's just but what's that word? Did you buy the chemistry of her and Thor, Jane and Thor in this?
Not
movie?
at first. I didn't think they had any chemistry in the movie until like toward the very end.
I see.
And I actually like the actresses who they have playing Sif, Jamie Alexander.
Oh yes, she was. I forgot to say her. I forgot to mention her. Like, she was probably she's really good. Playing Sith. I hope that she has much more bigger roles she has a bigger role in Thor 3. But
Yeah.
I know she had a role in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I haven't watched lately. There he is. There's John.
Cut out for a moment.
Overall, I like the actors who played. I love the actor who played Odin. Perfect casting choice.
Anthony Hopkins.
I couldn't put a better actor myself.
Oh, interesting fact about Anthony Hopkins. He took the role because his grandchildren asked him to do it.
Yeah, good. Because his grandchildren, they're smart because he fits it perfectly. Because just like the way I love the part where he argued Thor. I love the part where Thor argued his father, and I'm like, oh my, this is literally perfect because was Thor's younger years before he didn't know any better, and bam, there you go. And I was like, that is just perfect. It's just he did the right decision. I'm gonna ask you, like, for me, the actor plays Thor. Like, he's an awesome Thor, but he wasn't my first choice. My choice was Brad Pitt. I really think that Brad Pitt would have been an awesome Thor, but right now, I feel like the actor plays him, who's playing Thor. I think that he's doing a great job. I think he should just step. I think he needs a much more bigger role on bigger push than Loki, because Loki was like stole the show every screen.
Mm-hmm. I think that the reason why they chose him probably because Brad Pitt was just too expensive.
Probably. That's probably true. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep. Oh, and just
But
like coincidence, the movie that he was in just prior to this one, what was in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek reboot?
I know.
Yeah, many people forget he was actually in that movie. I forgot he was in the movie.
No, I saw him when he got. I saw him.
Mm-hmm. And let's see, the Warriors 3. Well, I know that one of them got replaced in the sequel because I think he was the one who usually likes to think of himself as very handsome.
Yeah.
He got replaced because of his commitment to Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, that's true.
And the guy who replaced him in Thor Ragnarok, he was actually somebody who actually auditioned for the role before, but then he got in the sequel.
Yeah, I agree. He will return for Thor 3. But let's go off the part where, like, did anyone like the Thor versus the Destroyer? I thought it was awesome.
Yeah,
I like that.
Too. Go ahead, John.
I like that fight. That was awesome. Like, the movie didn't have a whole lot of action being it was his origin story, and a lot of people did nitpick at that, but I was alright with it.
And this one, I mean, technically this is the first destroyer I've seen who does not have a host controlling him. He's a sentient being.
Yeah, that is true. The Destroyer has to get a host to work. That was a huge, big change. That kind of like annoyed. That kind of bothered me a bit. Like, wait a minute, is it someone working on it? Is it someone doing? Is it someone in the Destroyer? But no, it was practically a robot. One.
Which, for some reason, Thor left it on Earth after he defeated it.
And I think S.H.I.E.L.D. took that and melted it and turned it into that weapon that what's that? Agent Coulson used. Agent Coulson.
Show.
Yeah, he only used it once. Yeah.
And let's see what else. This movie was actually referenced in the pilot episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I did not know that because I haven't watched the first season in a while.
Yeah, I've watched pretty much almost like every episode except for like the last two that aired of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was getting better than it was before. And when they first started, it was kind of like it was an average show. I just watched it because it had references to Marvel American Universe and Bo Coulson was in it. And it got better afterwards. Plus, I thought it was funny that they actually thought that the Destroyer was actually something that Tony Stark built. What do you think of that, Edgar?
What?
Where Coulson said that he thought that he looked like something that Tony Stark would build.
Oh yeah, that was cool, funny. That was funny. It's like, yeah, it looked like Tony Stark would have built something like that. But yeah, I did like the fight. I liked the whole movie.
Hey guys, I'll be back in about 10 minutes.
All right, go. I liked the movie. I thought it was great. It was just really, really good. And yeah, let's go on the next. But I gave it an 8 out of 10. That's my
I
rating.
do too. Interesting little fact: they actually used stock footage from the movie in the episode where Seth guest stars season 1.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's go on the next film.
Okay, next film is one of my personal favorite ones: Captain America: First Avenger. This film, if you look at it, I mean, you have like what 2 characters appearing in the movie who actually are Stanley creations, and the rest are just like created by other people. And this film was just pure fun, and it is the only film that's actually set in the past.
Yes, agreed. I look at it as a time a parody piece, like not a parody piece.
Yeah.
What's that word? A time where we get to see the past and around World War II.
Yeah.
Ish, and I like the actor who plays Captain America when he got casted I'm like, oh great, we're gonna get Human Torch as Captain America. Okay, I didn't really.
But he does
like
a great
him.
job with the role.
Yes,
as Captain America.
he does a phenomenal job. But my biggest criticism on this film is the fact that it's the ending. When he got unthawed and woke up and found out that he's been frozen for practically a century, and he also finds out that all his friends, all the people that he knew, are gone, and it didn't impact him. I didn't believe that it affected him because in the comics and in the source material, he finds out that when he finds out that his friends are gone and he's in another time period, he's literally like his whole life has just changed, and it's just his whole mindset's just changed, and I really just didn't believe it affected him. It bothers me every time I look at it.
Yep.
But,
the only person who actually was still alive present day was Peggy.
Yeah, that is true. She was. But I love Red Skull. Red Skull was
Yeah.
perfect.
He's probably one of the best villains they've had for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right next to Loki.
Yeah, it's like every time he comes on screen, it's such an enjoyment to see him get angry or him spitting out some dialogue. He's like one of the most enjoyable villains to watch aside from Loki.
Yeah, I agree with you. That is true. He was probably the best one out of the whole villains. And he was just a really very enjoyable to watch. And I like that about him. And I really wish he came back with in the sequels so bad, because they left it open and just
As far as I know, the actor who played him, he has no current interest to come back to play the role, but he is contracted to come back.
Oh, really? He is?
He's under contract to come back if Marvel wants to bring him back, but currently he has no interest to reprise in the role. He's actually, if you look at the Phase 1, he's probably like one of 2 villains who does not die in Phase 1. Actually, 3.
He's only the few villains that didn't die. Let's just put it that way.
Yep.
And go on.
And one villain, I was actually a bit surprised he was in the movie. Artem Zola.
Who?
Well, in the movie, he's like this guy with the glasses. He's like Red Skull's assistant.
Oh, him. Yeah, him. Yeah. I'm done. I know what you're talking.
He was actually funny in the movie.
It was all right. Not the greatest, but once again, Captain America does a good. The Captain America movie did a great job. I liked the film. It was great. One thing I really kind of put a big smile on my face is he wear the iconic costume. straight out of the comics. I'm like, wow, that is just that kind of put a smile because that means something. Because I always love where comic movies just went, let's just go straight grab the costume from the comics and put it in live action. That's just fucking amazing.
Well, that was the first costume he wore, and then the second costume he changed it to his costume from the Ultimate Universe.
Yes, that is. Yes, I do agree that it's heavily on the ultimate counterpart of that second costume.
I actually like Ultimate Cap's outfit.
Yeah, I did too. I think it's the second best costume of Captain America.
Yep. And I love who played his commanding officer in the movie. Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I agree, yeah. I agree on that. What you thought of Dum Dum Dugan and the rest of the gang?
Awesome. And the interesting thing about Dugan, he came back for an episode of Agent Carter from last season.
Yeah, I heard about that. That was really cool seeing that happen because that was quite interesting seeing that happen. I haven't watched that show for ages right now.
Well, I'm watching right now, and it's interesting. The Whitney Frost character, she's okay. No, she's like the really big one from the comics on the show right now.
Is she like the comics? That's all I want to know.
She doesn't wear the golden mask yet.
Once again, I'm still just scratching my head. I'm like, why are you putting her in the show?
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yep. And it seems odd though that only the prelude and the epilogue take place in present day. The whole movie takes place in the 40s.
Yeah, true.
And as for Bucky, I know they changed it for the movie because originally in the comics he was actually, I think he was like 12, 13 years old when he became Cap's sidekick. In the movie, he's about Cap's age.
Yeah, that is true. They definitely kind of aged him up. They definitely aged him up a bit in the Captain America movie, the first one, because having a kid having a kid basically right next to a super soldier guy, a soldier, wouldn't work. It's not, people just say, "Oh, you just fucking rip off Batman," because Robin was like during that in the 60s, or at least it was the 70s. I don't know. When Robin came into the comics of Batman, DC had to do the same, and they introduced Bucky, and Bucky was practically their Robin to Captain America.
I think that Robin was introduced, I think it was, last year was 75 years. I think he was introduced in 1940, and Bucky was introduced a year later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
And as for him, like, supposedly dying, anyone who read the comics knew he was going to come back as Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I agreed. We knew he was coming back.
Yeah, comic fans knew that, but anybody who did not read the comics did not know that at all.
Yeah, it was like a huge shocker. Like, oh, what? The Winter Soldier is Bucky? What?
Yeah,
we'll get to that. Get to that movie eventually.
Yeah, we'll get that to when we get to Phase 2. But the one thing I thought was really missing from this movie, and I really wanted to see this thing, Captain America on ice. Actually seen in an ice cube.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
Though they kind of did show that in Avengers in a flashback.
Yeah, that's true.
That's sort of the movie. What, did they run out of time or something?
No, they just wanted to just throw them in the ice. Everyone knows what happens next, and Yeah, they just probably just like it's like let's just don't. It really doesn't matter. We all know he's gonna come back in the Avengers, so yeah. Moving on.
And I know this movie was teased from the post-credit scene from the previous movie where they showed the Tesseract.
Yeah, yeah. True, yeah, true.
Which, according to Marvel Studios, the Tesseract is one of the Infinity Gems.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is.
I'm not sure which one it is because the one Loki staff is the Mind Gem. The one that appeared in Guardians of the Galaxy that was a Space Gem, and this was blue. I know it's not the Time Gem.
Yeah, it's just. I think I personally, I don't like which one is which one's which. I just like it's one of the Infinity Gems. It's so yeah.
Yeah, and I also heard they changed the colors too for the films because in the comics they're all different colors.
Yes, I know.
Oh, I also forgot to bring this up. In the lead scene for Thor, the first Thor movie, the Infinity Gauntlet and Doctor Strange's Eye of Agamotto is in Odin's vault.
Oh yeah. That was that. When I saw the Infinity, I'm like, just the Infinity. They're teasing Infinity War. They're teasing Infinity War. The epic fucking story.
Yep.
And it's hell. The Infinity Gauntlet was there in Comic-Con, so I'm like, when I saw it, I'm like, wow, looks great.
Yep. And at the end of this movie, First Avenger, they show a scene that actually is in the film Avengers, and they even show a trailer for Avengers at the end of the movie.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they did show that, and that was awesome. So, firstly, it's just a good film. Let's go on to the Avengers and kind of end this.
Yeah. The Avengers movie is just a pure awesome movie. Joss Whedon at his finest when it comes to this movie. And it's like this movie, it's like he adapted Avengers #1 and he adapted a little bit of the Ultimate Comics, Ultimate version of the Ultimates, for the origin story. Because if you look at the lineup for the film, it's the lineup of the Ultimates, minus Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
And Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah. Which, here's the interesting thing. Wasp was actually originally going to be in Avengers.
Yeah, I heard about that, but that was that Marvel didn't want to do that because Edgar Wright wanted to use her, which that kind of backfired a bit.
Yep. So Joss made no choice but to put Black Widow in the movie.
Yeah. Personally, for me, I think he should have, like, if Marvel, like, it would have been a really different film if she was in the movie, because number one, she would have already said, let's call the event, let's just call ourselves the Avengers. And yeah, I think that would have been really cool, but yeah, it didn't happen. Like, hopefully
it went many first. Besides the first appearance of the team, you also have the first appearance of Maria Hill.
Yep, that is true.
Hill Carey makes his first appearance in this movie. You got Project Pegasus appearing for the first time in this universe. That's the facility at the beginning of the movie that gets destroyed.
Yeah, that's true. I will say I love the Hulk versus Thor. That was, oh man, awesome.
Yeah, like, it was. Oh, I almost forgot to bring this up for Thor. Hawkeye appears in a cameo in the movie.
I know. We did kind of forgot about him, but yeah, and it's kind of sad. No wonder. I understand why Hawkeye was kind of like why Joss Whedon pushed heavily on Hawkeye in the second Avengers, because he was practically the villain of this movie.
Yeah,
he really did. Yeah,
and the Stanley cameo for First Avenger, him as a general.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though he didn't create Captain America, that was Jack Kirby who did that.
Yeah, Jack Kirby, hell the king.
Yeah, I think that there was two reasons why he created the movie. One, because he had characters in the movie who he created personally. Red Skull is actually is the character he created with Jack Kirby.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things I like about Jack Kirby. He created a lot of characters. But overall, one of the things I liked about the film, and this was also one of my biggest concerns about the film, was Robert Downey Jr. Like, the trailers, they give you off this vibe of Robert Downey Jr. It's going to probably overshadow everyone because, hey, Tevya, how you doing?
I'm back.
All right. You're late in the party.
Sorry. Where did everybody go?
They had to go do shit.
Yeah.
And pretty much, when I saw the trailers, I was very concerned about the film. Much as this is the same scenario what I have with Batman vs Superman. I'm like, I don't know, this could suck. this thing really just seems like Robin Jr. is gonna practically overshadow everybody. Me and my dad were looking at each other like, yeah, it seems like it sure looked like that was going to be the case. But when you saw the movie, oh my God, everyone had their own scenes. Loki was just an awesome villain. It's just fun, action packed. I love the fights between Iron Man and Thor, and especially the Hulk. That was like pure, just like, oh my God, it was perfect. It's just. They didn't get along together. It was just a pure comic book film, and that's one thing I gave props to Joss Whedon on. Too bad he sucked on the second one.
Yeah, but one thing I got to praise him for doing, bringing in Stark Tower into the movie.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, that was good.
Despite the fact it looked nothing like it did in the comics.
Yeah, that's true, and that they even add that in the comics now. The all new different is exactly the same tower from Avengers.
Yeah, that also was like that. They actually, if you read the Avengers Assemble series, the one that originally Bendis did, and then
Bendis did that series?
Yeah, that Stark Tower appears in the series rebuilt after it was destroyed in Fury itself. It was mistakenly drawn like the one that appeared in the movie.
It was?
Yep.
Huh. Interesting.
And the tower looked great. It's just too bad they couldn't have the team just stick together after the movie.
Well, that's understandable because there are movies to come in.
Well, Hawkeye and Black Widow don't have a movie.
That's true.
The people have been hoping for a Black Widow movie.
I think the reason why after we not get back with me because Isaac Perlmutter is bullshit.
Dude, we're gonna get a Black Widow movie eventually.
Yeah, I heard that one too. Because Isaac Perlmutter, I hate that guy.
Marvel CEO is not in control of Marvel Studios anymore.
Yeah, he's gone. Sort of. He's in charge of Marvel Entertainment.
Yeah, he's in charge of Marvel Entertainment, but prior to release, I think it was just after Ant-Man came out, that Marvel Studios was moved to directly report to Disney. This is so that the budget's going to be a little bit higher, and they can increase the pay of their actors. And Kevin Feige reports to one person. He reports to the chairman of the board for Disney Incorporated.
That's good news.
Yep. And
I think they did the best. I think that was the best move for Marvel Studios because if they kept on going, eventually they would have hit a bad movie. And and Disney and Marvel don't want a bad movie.
Yep.
Because every Marvel Studio film has reached $1 billion.
Yep.
So
I would say since Iron Man 3, they've had billion-dollar gross movies. Though I don't think Winter Soldier and Thor: Dark World were $1 billion.
No, I think they did. I don't know. Maybe.
I know Ant-Man was not $1 billion. Ant-Man only made about half $1 billion.
Yeah, he's right.
Okay.
And I mean, look at the movies. I would say out of the of this phase, I would say the two movies at the highest budget overall was probably Iron Man, Thor, Avengers, and Captain America.
First Avenger.
Yeah, I do. I agree.
I agree
I'll be
too.
right back.
All right. And in case anybody doesn't know about Ike Perlmutter,
Mm-hmm.
Captain Cheapskate.
Yep, Captain Cheapskate. That's also true. Because this guy's a complete douchebag. I mean, he basically one with like one bathroom or seats. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, this guy he basically helped Marvel get out of his bankruptcy. I mean, that's the only thing you can nicely say about the guy, is that if it hadn't been for him and Avi Arad, Marvel would not still be around.
Yeah,
Marvel would still be in bankruptcy.
agreed. Like, I'll give the guy credit. He did save the company, like from a destruction, like the bullshit, and the marketing bullshit. Actually, the marketing team is the one who fucked over the comics in the first place, thanks to the speculative bubble.
Yeah, there's if you go to S and Bree's website, he actually did a 14-part sort of rise and fall of the comic empire. It goes from I think it goes from the 80s until like present day.
Yeah, the 80s to the 90s.
Where he covers one of the things he covers is the Marvel bankruptcy.
Yep, that's what covered the Clone Saga.
Yep, and it was the guy who I currently bought it from. The guy was a complete dick to everybody. I mean, this guy basically rose prices higher than they usually should be for the Marvel comic titles. So everyone thinks that all the titles are so expensive now because $3.99.
Yep.
I think in the 90s, I think that the highest that a Marvel comic got at the time was maybe $2.
What? $82?
$2.
Oh,
$2,
$2.
maybe $3 at most. But now all the books basically Marvel sells, with the exception of specials, are basically $4 a piece.
Oh, gotta be kidding me. Don't play though, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. The only reason why I've heard the reason why the price tag is $3.99, digital download.
That's true.
And the only books I can think of that can hold $3.99 price tag are the following: Amazing Spider-Man, Extraordinary X-Men, and these are the current titles Marvel publishing. Invincible Iron Man, Sam Wilson Captain America,
Yep.
The Mighty Thor.
Ms.
Tony
Marvel?
Oswald, I would keep that $3.99, definitely. And I would keep all New World Avengers, Daredevil, and
Ms. Marvel?
now Miss Marvel I would lower to $2.99. But those are the only titles I could personally think of. I would lower down I would keep $3.99 and have all the rest of the titles reduce the price to $2.99 because look at DC. I mean, only the bigger characters have their titles $3.99, while all the rest of the characters that got the books pay $2.99.
Yeah, like, I don't know what the price Teen Titans at now. I don't know what their price is, but again, Titans are probably much lower.
I think it's still $3.99 for Teen Titans.
Really? Damn it. And that series is still not doing well.
Though, you gotta be happy about the fact they're changing writers with the next issue.
I am happy about that, but I'm still worried that damage already been done. I mean, it can't be saved. So I think the only option for Teen Titans is just cancel the series and just reboot the series, or just do Titans Hunt. Keep Titans in continuity, but fix Wally West.
Well, as far as I've heard for that, Titans Hunt might lead to a new Titan series, like featuring the adult Titans.
Thank God. Because
I think Teen Titans are going to keep that one around.
Yeah.
And Tevya, DC Rebirth is not going to be a reboot.
It's not? Fuck.
This is confirmed by both Dan DiDio and Jim Lee. They're not going to do a reboot again. At all. Because
so,
if they did,
we're not going to people, are we?
We're just than they did back in 2011.
Alright. But I want to. So what we're talking about? Like right now, we're talking about Avengers, but where we're at right now?
I think we talked Isaac Perlmutter, and then we talked in with the DC.
Old enough for DC shit.
Yeah, I actually brought up like about 8 titles I would think Mark could keep at the $3.99 price tag, and have everything else drop to $2.99.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, for me, I would just be like $1 a piece.
Yeah,
$1.
$1.
Yeah, $1 because you will make so much money doing that, or 75 cents, whichever. I mean, like,
Almost all their titles except maybe 2 or 3 are $2.99 a piece.
Yep.
Yep.
I think that the only one actually I can think of off the top of my head that is $3.99 is Spawn.
Yep.
Yeah. Besides DC is only like $2 per comic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, DC, only the bigger characters have their books $3.99, while all the rest of the series are $2.99 a piece.
Mhm.
Which I do like the fact that DC did that, but the one thing I don't like though is at times when they raise the price of the books. I mean, the individual issues, the $4.99.
Agreed.
Ridiculous.
Agreed.
The last time that happened was Batman number 44. That was like $5.
$5? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a double-sized issue.
Figures.
Yeah. I agree with Marvel and DC doing that shit. Like, if it's gonna be like a pack of a bundle, like we're getting more than just the story. That yeah. Whatever, fucking Tevya. I mean, like,
Why not let the
Sorry. I'm
the
trying
first
to say
issue of this Iron Man because of its cover? Some people thought it could have been $5 for the book. They sold the book regular cover price that they usually sell the book for.
Yep.
yeah. But anyway, back to saying like comic books, like what they should do. I like what DC and Marvel, like whenever like it's like a $5, you're getting more for your worth. Like you're getting a lot of things for that comic. Like they did that with Spider-Man. They did that with a couple other books.
Iron Man.
I don't know. No, they didn't do that with Iron Man. At least not yet for me.
I
They
didn't know
did
that. Interesting.
I think they did that with X-Men with 600.
Mhm.
So like, yeah, well, they're worth that a lot.
Yes. But there's one thing Marvel does I do like that DC does not do.
What?
Mhm.
When a title reaches a certain really big number, they actually sort of restore the original numbering.
Uh-huh.
They used to.
Man, Captain America did for Hulk. They done for Kenny X-Men.
Oh yeah,
Put that up once, and that was for Wonder Woman.
Yep.
Who was it?
Wonder Woman.
What Wonder Woman?
Who was Wonder Woman? Who took the mantle? Donna Troy?
No. When the series celebrated its 600th issue, the reason why they did that is because DC got 600 postcards and demanding that the next issue be 600.
Oh,
And
okay,
I
all
did
right.
not know
the
that.
last issue of the series.
Okay, all right. Let's go back to Avengers and just done deal with DC stuff. We could do a podcast, all that stuff. Back to topic.
Yeah, we can.
All right.
But anyway, as for Avengers, I liked the film. There was nothing that I thought that was bad about the film, and just overall, it was just fantastic. Perfect 10 out of 10. Just a really great movie. And hell, this made DC woke up to reality like, wow, they basically slapped us so hard that they slapped us so hard that it can be done.
Yep.
And it worked.
Yep.
So I'm very happy that DC's trying to do it now. And we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And other studios are trying to copy Marvel's success.
Wait, March did a copy. I did. Oh.
Everybody's trying to copy Marvel's success. Look at Godzilla. They are trying to make a Godzilla cinematic universe. Everyone's trying to take that success because they see great value on that, and I'm happy that studios are doing that. That makes more money for your buck, and it makes it where it's worth it because you're seeing a series of movies in the same universe.
Yep. And the only other companies besides Marvel and DC that's doing this is
Paramount.
No, not Paramount. Comic book-based company. The only other company that's actually doing this is Valiant. Valiant started
Universe.
with the first movie they're going to do is Bloodshot.
Okay. We'll see what happens.
X-Men War.
I'm not sure if they're going to do that one yet, but the first one they did announce as part of that universe is Bloodshot.
Is
Awesome.
he cool?
Yeah, I've read the Bloodshot comic, the recent ones that come out that Valiant publishes. The current comic they have right now for Bloodshot, Bloodshot Reborn, it's written by Jeff Lemire.
Yep.
All right.
Bloodshot Reborn. Also, it's like Mad Max. But Bloodshot. Awesome.
All right. I'll check it out when it comes out.
Yep.
The only movie I want to see besides Marvel, like non-Marvel or DC movies, is Witchblade, The Darkness, and Spawn. That's just it.
Yep.
But I feel like Spawn's never gonna happen because just Todd McFarlane, his pitch sucked probably.
Todd McFarlane has been teasing a Spawn reboot for like, I don't know, 15 years now.
Yeah, he's just a liar, and he can't do it anymore.
And he's a dick too.
Yeah, he is. And he's an idiot. Like, I'm like, a person like you are just nothing more than a liar that just don't want to fucking get this shit done. Like I could write it and fucking direct it and just make this shit happen because I'm tired of waiting. Like,
Yeah.
That's why I kind of appreciate it.
The last Spawn movie that came out was named the same studio who made Blade.
Yeah, it was.
great.
It was MGM, right?
Yep, New Line Cinema. Same company that also did the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
And also Lord of the Rings.
Aren't you gonna reboot that movie?
I don't think they are.
Yeah,
because that is just too recent of a movie. I mean, Hulk. I think Hulk is an exception because Hulk needed it. Lord of the Rings does not.
I heard the next one's gonna be like a soft reboot. Like, I don't know. It's just that's what they said.
All right.
Soft reboot.
Yeah, it's a soft reboot. Like, it's a sequel, but it's kind of like breathe new air.
Yep.
Kind of like other franchises do that all the time. Tevya.
Kind of first class, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like all other franchises do that. Anywho, give your scores to Avengers, and we'll kind of end this video.
Yep.
Give your scores.
Oh. Okay, Avengers. Avengers might be one best movie about that one, but super movie about that, and but team movie of 2012, and one of my favorite movies of the entire year. And I love Avengers. I love the villain Loki. He's awesome, and I gave it a 10 out of 10.
All right.
Perfection.
9 out of 10? All right. 9 out of 10. All right.
No, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Okay. Oh, 10 out of 10? Okay. All right. You, Nick?
I also give the film a 10 out of 10. Great movie, great script, great characters, and I look forward to Infinity War when it comes out.
Yeah.
The first one is coming out in 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah,
Damn.
it comes out in 2018.
Yeah.
Oh, something interesting though before we close. Phase 3 is going to have 11 movies.
Really?
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah, we got Ant-Man. You got Ant-Man and the Wasp. You got Spider-Man. Doctor Strange.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel. And you got, I think you got Civil War and Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. That's 11 movies. Wow.
No, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, that shit's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for Guardians too.
Yeah.
I am too.
Ember Black Pepper.
Interesting fact. He brought the blockbuster because originally episode 8 was originally supposed to come out in that same month, but he predicted that episode 8 should be moved to December because it would conflict with Guardians of the Galaxy. And he predicted right. It was moved to December.
Yeah, that is true. They would have been competition of that movie.
Because of rewrites. That's the only reason why they moved it. Which we'll get to more of Phase 3 when we talk about it after we get through with Phase 2.
Phase 2, yeah.
Yep.
Anywho, I'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next time, and yeah.
See ya.
Bye.